When cycling from Bruges to Berlin in spring 2024, we followed for a while the trail known in World War II as Hell's Highway. This route, key to the 1944 Allied military operation called Market Garden, stretches from the Belgian border through Eindhoven, Nijmegen and Arnhem in the Netherlands. This operation was made famous in the movie A Bridge Too Far and featured in 2 episodes of the HBO miniseries Band of Brothers. 80 years later, the area contains multiple reminders of the conflict in cemeteries, monuments, museums, and historical locations, all easily reachable by bicycle. The Dutch have thoroughly memorialized this time of their history. The website Cycling Hell's Highway proposes 6 different itineraries, from 135 to 230 kilometers, and provides downloadable GPS routes, points of interest, audio files, and more. We selected the longest route. On our journey, we cycled on one of the last original World War II Bailey bridges in Europe and visited Nijmegen, featured in episode 4 of Band of Brothers, and where Vincent van Gogh lived and painted for a few years. Further east, we cycled through the Overloon War Museum via a unique bicycle viewing bridge that passes through the museum. Thousands of gliders were used during the initial phase of the battle. We visited a full-size steel skeleton replica that was installed a few years ago on the same location where some of the originals landed in 1944. In addition to gliders and jeeps, paratrooper folding bikes were another form of transport used in Market Garden, as mentioned in this exhibit in the Nijmegen Info Center. Weighing less than 10 kilograms, or the equivalent of today's Brompton P-line, this single-speed bicycle was built to last about 50 miles or 80 kilometers. Nonetheless, some are still around to this day, as we see in this photo we took in Victoria, Canada recently. The Nijmegen Bridge, built in 1936, is still standing and hasn't changed much over the years. It proved to be a lot easier to cross now than 80 years ago. We diverged from the planned route to visit 2 major Band of Brothers points of interest, the Company E headquarters where Dick Winter's famous photo was taken, and further north, the crossroad that gave its name to Episode 5, site of the famous ambush. We then crossed the Lower Rhine by ferry, arriving in Oosterbeek, where the Hotel Hartenstein, the headquarters of the British 1st Airborne Army, is now a museum, and the old church, where the last stand took place, still shows its battle scars. The actual Bridge Too Far, the failed objective, is a few kilometers away in Arnhem. It was rebuilt after the war, like much of the town. If you have an interest in Operation Market Garden in general, or Band of Brothers in particular, there is a lot to see along that area of Holland. Doing it with folding bikes will add a vintage feel to this journey of discovery. And if 20th century history isn't your passion, it's still a lovely place to cycle. If you've done a similar historical-based tour with your bicycle, or would like to plan one, let us know in the comments below. We'll be happy to give more details about our route. We're Pam and Gilbert of 2 Bikes for Adventure.